Welcome to That Just Doesn't Make Sense, the Nature of Things. I was 23 years old, married for about a year, and living in Connecticut. I wanted to start a handyman or contractor business. Now understand that I had no real experience. Yes, I had the experience I got in Texas, but that is not the same as going into a stranger's home and discussing doing work in their home. I would appear to the homeowners as a young man who could not possibly have enough experience. So, what am I pointing out here is that I was acknowledging the fact that I would be handicapped because of my age and appearance. So I decided that I had to put together a plan that was focused on educating myself to reduce those concerns from my future clients. Back then, there was no internet, but there were books. And that was perfect timing because Time Life books were new to the market, and these books were all about remodeling your home as a do it yourself type of publication. I ordered them and began to educate myself with the how and correct verbiage to use when speaking with clients. I also bought another book called Buying Rundown Homes and Remodeling Them. Once I received the Time Life books, I started reading and reading. I ran an advertisement in the local newspaper and waited. My first project, however, came from my wife's workplace. She worked for an advertising agency, and their top sales rep wanted to remove wallpaper from one of his office walls and replace it. I had never done that type of work before, but I had a book. I got to the job and started the project the next night because it had to be done after hours. I learned how to remove existing wallpaper and how to install new. But then I hit a roadblock. The wall that the wallpaper was installed on had major water damage on the drywall. It turns out that the wallpaper was holding it all together. It was an interesting position for me because now what? I stopped what I was doing and I set up a meeting with the client for the next day to discuss my findings. That night at home, I educated myself regarding the drywall work. The meeting went well, and it was the first time that I had to deal with an unknown during the work. I did not know at the time, but what happened in that meeting would be the way I would handle those kinds of situations from that point forward. What do I mean by the last statement? On almost every construction project I have been on over the last 30 years, unknowns are discovered all the time, which would make one think that this is commonplace and most contractors know exactly how to handle it. Nope, they don't know how to handle it. What I learned from the water damaged drywall was this: whenever there is an issue that is an unknown but must be dealt with in a very short period of time, the method of dealing with it is always the same. You investigate, you plan, and you have a meeting with the decision makers and share what you have found and then present the solution. The last part is where 90% of my peers fall apart. They never come up with the solutions, folks. Never. They expect the client or their superiors to do it. But if you live by the rule, never present a problem without having a solution ready to share at the time the problem is presented, you will be successful in your career. You would think that everyone would think like that, but they do not. Following that rule has been one of the things that has kept me in the leadership roles wherever I have worked. Let's get back to the wallpaper story. I met with the client. I showed him the water damaged wall and how much it would cost to fix it. And he agreed and thanked me for not stopping, or thanked me for stopping and not destroying his office before moving forward. I was done with the project in about 2 days and ended up earning double of what was quoted. My hopes are that through the many episodes that we have shared together so far, that I am doing this in an order of self-awareness and self-understanding. When I was 5 and asking questions about the water spider, as I stated in that episode, that my life changed. I just didn't know it at the time. And as the episodes evolved to where they to where we are right now. Once I understood that there was something to the way that I think that is different from others around me, then I could use that knowledge to handle circumstances with that mindset. Now, keep in mind that the time this story took place, I'm still just 23 years old. So my understanding was still in its infancy. There was a lot more understanding to come. There was one thing that bothered me back then, and that was my writing skills were horrible. There you go, yet another understanding of myself I had to deal with. So I signed up for an English writing class course at a community college in our area. I did not plan on graduating. I was only there to learn for my own use, and that class really paid off in the short and long runs of my career. Because, like it or not, people judge you for the words from the words that come out of your mouth. The remodel business did well for a while, but my wife did not like Connecticut and she wanted to go back to Texas. I thought I would be able to start the business there, but it never did. If this story was able to remind you of something similar that happened to you, then please share it in the comments section. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss a single episode. I'll see you on the next one. Thank you.